welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host Owen James Channel that brings you all your latest Rangers news, guys. Look, there's been multiple reports as regards centre-backs departing the club this summer. Obviously, John Souttar, the latest, 1.3 million. That was the bid allegedly from Trabzon. You've also got obviously the talk of Robin Proper, hopefully departing to Twente. Ben Davies possibly heading back to Birmingham. Leon King possibly on his way out. Clinton Ntiala told that he can go. So, there's all this talk about centre-halves going out. Now, that interview that Russell Martin did the other Friday, where he talked obviously about the fact we had enough centre-backs, that would suddenly look, not true, because of the fact that if we were to lose Souttar, if we were to lose King, if we were to lose Ntiala, and Davis as well, it would leave us with just Giga and, of course, Manny Fernandez as really the only centre-backs at the club, proper centre-backs. I'm talking about actual, real, proper centre-backs. Don't give me the bollocks about James Tavernier playing there, because he's shit at centre-half. So a new name has emerged. Now, Connor Cody obviously has been the one that's been ongoing all summer. That seems to have kind of been delayed. But a new name has come to the front in today's media. And that is Xavier Mbuyamba. Something like that. Mbuyamba. Let's go for Mbuyamba. Xavier Mbuyamba, who is a Dutch defender from Volendam. Former Chelsea youngster, former Barcelona youngster. So it's not just Chelsea. He came through the youth system. It was also through Barcelona as well. Obviously, Barcelona have a tradition of having a lot of Dutch players and a proud tradition of Dutch players. Obviously, stemming back to the Johan Cruyff era. Johan Cruyff, still one of my favourite footballers of all time. Anyway, this new guy, Xavier Mbuyamba. I think that's how you say it. He's 23 years old. He is a monster, though, at 6'5". Yes, 6'5", guys. Massive guy, huge guy. Exactly what you need in defence. And, given the fact that one of the things that Rangers have been criticised for in recent times is the lack of height, Mbuyamba would certainly help to solve that issue, obviously, alongside Manny Fernandez, who is also huge, and obviously Nasser Giga, who is also huge. It does seem that Rangers are really looking at bringing in as many massive centre-halves as possible this summer. Anyway, as for Mbuyamba, he is currently in his final. He is coming to the end of his Volendam contract and has refused to sign a contract extension. She would be available for a relatively cheap fee of around £500,000. That is why he's cheap, because he's only got 12 months left on his deal, not because he's not very good. Let's just emphasise that one. In terms of his career to this point, he's played for MVV, which is a Dutch side, made 11 appearances there before moving to Volendam, where he made 58 appearances and has scored 8 goals in his time with the Dutch club. But his youth record is far more impressive. He was started off in Holland, but then moved in 2019. Which is 6 years ago. So, about 17 years old. He moved to La Masia, to Barcelona, to play, obviously, and come through the youth system at Barca, which gives you an outstanding grounding in football. And that would kind of explain why his ball playing and his passing and his movement is so good, because obviously coming through a youth system at Barcelona where they preach tiki-taka, they preach passing, they preach movement, they preach one-touch and two-touch passing, that would give you an excellent education. He then moved to England, where he was with Chelsea for a number of years before moving on to Holland. And we all know Chelsea love stockpiling young players and then sending them out on loan and then eventually selling them. That is a very Chelsea thing to do. And Xavier Mbuyamba was one of those players that Chelsea did this to. He was with Chelsea between 2020 and 2022. In terms of the type of player that Xavier Mbuyamba is, he's tall, obviously. He's 6'5". He has a great physical stature. He's a big, physically powerful guy. And it does seem that is kind of where we're going with centre-halves, as I've already said. He's right-footed. He's very athletic. He ticks all the boxes in terms of the type of modern centre-half you want. Tall, big, strong, quick. All the things you need from a centre-half these days. He's ball playing, like I said, so would very much fit into this Russell Martin system of the ability to bring the ball out from the back, to pass the ball out from the back, to start off attacks. That's very much what Russell Martin wants from his centre-halves, and Mbuyamba would certainly fit that. He's, of course, very strong in the air, given his height. It doesn't always follow that. You get some people who are really tall but actually are shit in the air, but Mbuyamba is certainly not in that category. He is very strong in the air. He is big and physical. He is, like I said, he came through the system at La Masia, so obviously has all those qualities of a fine young footballer. He can also play right back, but 6'5", he's much better at the centre back position. This is a good footballer. This is a very good footballer. Like I said, the cheapness of a contract for him is down to the fact that it is the last year of his deal, and the intention, obviously, I think, is to try and get something for him before he leaves for absolutely nothing, in the summer. So, look, I know this is media, but who is it being reported by? That's, when you look at transfer rumours, when you look at transfer stories, the big thing for me is, who is this story coming from? Where is this story coming from? And if it's coming from somewhere like the Scottish Sun or the Daily Rebel, or some of the podcasts, you kind of go, yeah, that's just a load of bollocks, isn't it? There's no truth in that one at whatsoever. It's not going to happen, is it? So you kind of rule that one out, don't you? But someone who I do trust, someone who you can rely on for stories as regards transfers, probably the most reliable source, or one of the most reliable sources, along with David Ornstein, Sasha Tovaglieri, and Fabian Plettenberg, is Fabrizio Romano. And that's where this story has come from this morning. This is what Fabrizio put on his Twitter this morning. He put Volendam defender Xavier Mbuyamba on the radar of Rangers and Ghent. So we have got some competition from his signing from the Belgian club Ghent. Volendam have opened the door to a sale of the former Chelsea defender with a €500,000 price tag, which makes him even cheaper. After he refused to extend his current contract. English clubs are keen as well. No news as to who those English clubs are. But look, if Fabrizio Romano is reporting it, it's got to be true. Like I said, this guy is ultra reliable with what he says. And I really hope there is some truth in this one. This lad looks a player. He looks a player. And I think he would be an absolute superstar for Rangers, would fit into our system. We've got a proud tradition with Dutch players anyway. We've had some outstanding Dutch players at the club. The links between Rangers and Holland are clear and established. So look, Mbuyamba, I'd love to see that. I'd hope this one's true. I hope this one is a goer. I really hope the club are looking at this, and I hope this is one that is announced fairly soon. But Mbuyamba for me is a definite yes. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thanks for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation. If you've enjoyed it, please like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe. Ring the bell, guys, and you never miss out on the great free content. You can become a member, of course, for as little as 99p if you do wish. Thanks for watching. Catch you really soon on the next one.